A huge injury blow for Nottingham Forest ahead of their game at Manchester United. Welcome to the preview for Man United versus Nottingham Forest. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, or whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to your match preview for Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. In today's video, we'll be having a look at the predicted lineup, what I think Steve Cooper will line us up with. We'll have a look at the Scumbags team as well, and we'll talk about tactics and who is going to win this. Is this the right time to play Manchester United while they're completely in the mud? Before we get into it, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And don't forget, you've only got a few hours to go and get yourself this beautiful framed Forest shirt with the signature of all the players and LEDs all around it. You got till 7:30 tonight. All right, guys, let's get into this video. Okay, you guys know I hate Manchester United. So this one always means a little more to me. I need bragging rights over twist. This means everything. Cooper, if you're watching, full focus I need this Saturday from you because they are beatable. We played them 4 times last year. We held 10 goals and we scored 0 across 4 matches. Embarrassing against such a crappy team like Manchester United. But it's so much different this year. Why? Not because Forest have changed their play style. It's Manchester United that are in the mud. Manchester sorts them out against Wolves. They should have lost that game 3 or 4-0 if Wolves knew what a goal looked like and if they hadn't paid off the referees and the VAR team, as they always do. Then roll on to Spurs, and they played okay for like 20 minutes and then absolutely capitulate as Tottenham, with their Aussie rules football, take them to the cleaners and beat them 2-0. And the plastic Manchester United fans are screaming and shouting and worried about what's going on at their crappy club. Add to that Mason Greenwood and his fiascos and shenanigans allegedly going on off the field. Manchester United trying to feel the temperature. Should we keep him? Should we sell him? Should he stay? Should he go? It's one of the songs, isn't it? And in the end, after looking like complete assholes, they decide they're going to get rid of him. On top of that, as I said at the start of the video, Forest have had a huge injury blow for this game, as Mason Money Mount is out, and I am devastated. It's a huge loss to Nottingham Forest. So far, Money Mount has had 0 goals, 0 assists, and absolutely 0 impact on that Manchester United team. So, is there a better time to go to crappy Old Trafford, where their stadium is falling apart, just like Boringmouth Stadium, and take it to them? I think this is a good opportunity, but it will all depend on what Cooper does. And sorry to bring the mood down, but I am expecting full low block football. He's going to show Manchester United way too much respect. We need to go into this game like Wolves did. The way Wolves tried to take him to the cleaners, and if they had a finisher, which by the way, we do, if we play how Wolves did, we would absolutely smash the scum that are Manchester United. It has been too long since we've beaten them. It's been too long since we've played them, apart from last year. But we've done it before. I remember Collymore. I remember Pierce. What a game that was at Old Trafford. What a game and what a result. And I've just got a feeling that Forest could get something out of this match. So, with that little build-up done, let's get into the team, well, the predicted teams for both of them. And let me start with Forest and what I think Cooper will go with. So, spoiler alert, as I just mentioned, I can't see anything but a 5 at the back. And I think the team, it's just, there's so much talent in this team and it's just not being utilized correctly. And I really hope I'm wrong, and I really hope Cooper doesn't pay them the respect that he did against Arsenal for 70 minutes. It's not the same team. Arsenal would smash this Manchester United team. But I don't know about a couple of places. The rest I'm pretty confident about. Is Niakate fit enough to come back into the team? He's had a few minutes here and a few minutes there. And I think it's time to unleash the man beast. That is my boy Musa. It's time to get him back into the team. McKenna has got to be dropped. If Niakate is not fit, then drop McKenna for, I don't care, whoever. In terms of Aina, I'm not 100% sure he's fit. We'll know more once the presser comes out with Cooper. But it could be Williams and it could be Aina at left back. And the question is, our World Cup winner, Montiel, is he going to make a debut? Signing on Wednesday, he's been in Nottingham since about Monday anyway, so he's probably had some time to get a couple of training sessions in. But I think what's interesting about this is this will tell us if he goes straight into the team, if he's a Cooper signing or he's a club signing. If we see Aurier in the team, then clearly Cooper wasn't that interested in Montiel. If we see Montiel chuck straight in, it's a thing that Cooper has done quite a lot when it's been one of his boys, a Wood, an MG Dub, a Shelby. They all at some point got chucked in the first match that was available for them. So I think it'd be harsh on Aurier. I thought he played fantastic against Sheffield United last Friday. So I'd probably start with Aurier and give Montiel another week or so before he comes in. We'll discuss it all in the match preview with the Gore Boys tomorrow night. But I still don't know. And it's not against the player. I'm talking about the strategy. Why did Forest need another right back? But anyway, we'll get into that tomorrow. In terms of the midfield, this I'm very sure of. I feel like Danilo, Mangala and Yates will be the three. It seems to be Cooper's go-to. I'm still not convinced of those three as a combo. I still want to see a CDM in there, but hey-ho, we haven't got one. But I think that will definitely be the three we see. And I think MGW will be dropped and Cooper will go to his favoured 5-3-1-1 away from home against a quote-unquote big team. And he'll put MGW in the hole. And Awoniyi's just red hot. Is he going to make it 7 in a row? I really do hope so. So I think Jono will be sacrificed. If you remember back to the Arsenal match, this is pretty much the shape Forest played. And Awoniyi was dropped because he wasn't fully fit. And Jono came into that position and took over. And honestly, he's not an out-and-out 9. So I think Cooper will drop him to the bench. And maybe, will that be the last time we see Jono? The window is fast approaching its closing date. And there'll only be one other game in August before the window shuts. So let's see how that one develops. I don't like this setup. I'll be honest with you. Not against Manchester United. Against Man City, against Arsenal the other week, against, I don't know who else we got, Chelsea coming up, fine. But Manchester United, they're just not firing on all cylinders. There's no cohesion with them at the moment. They've got complete imbalance in the midfield. I'll show you the team I think they'll go with in a second. And I think if Forest had a little bit of kahunas about them, maybe got Elanga in and played a 4-3-3, I think the 4-3-3 would work better against Manchester United than even my favoured 4-2-3-1 because we could outflood them in the midfield. We're going to stretch them wide with Elanga and then I'd bring Jono in, for example, with Awoniyi there. And I don't know, I'd probably drop maybe Morgan Gibbs-White on the bench to have him as an impact sub. Just because we need a bit of steel and speed will be more important against Manchester United. I don't know, something like that. But for me, this is probably what Cooper's going to go with. What do you guys think? Am I close with the team or do you think he will be adventurous and go with a 4-3-3 and surprise us all? Get your thoughts in down below. Okay, I hate to make your eyes bleed, but let's bring up the scummy team sheet of Manchester United. And as I mentioned, Forest have had that huge injury blow with Money Mount not being in the team. And this is probably the formation that Eric 10 Hags or 7 Hags, whatever his name is these days, is going to go with. And it's not their strongest, but it's a little better than what they've done in the first 2 games. They've had a complete imbalance in that midfield. Ten Hag has been trying to force Money Mount in there, playing with a double 8. Basically, Casemiro would be in the 6, and then he'd have that ferret Bruno and Money Mount in front of him, and they were getting out flooded in the midfield. It was clear to see. Mason Mount being out is probably a blessing for them because it means they can bring in another 6/8 in Eriksen. Now, he could bring McTominay in there, but I think he thinks that he can go attacking against Nottingham Forest. If he was playing a team that maybe had a bit more less low block about them, I would probably expect McTominay to be the one replacing Mount instead of Eriksen. But against Forest, at home for them, I expect him to go a little more attacking. And that could be to Forest's advantage if we can get Casemiro isolated in a 1 versus a 3 in the midfield. That's where Forest can maybe make some inroads in. Now, they've been playing Trafford up front. Montiel looks like he's come back to fitness. He only ever seems to be fit for the Forest matches, and he scored a couple against us last year. So I'm hoping that he gets injured, going for his morning movement or something at the game, because he is that injury prone. Because I don't like him playing against us. I much would rather see Trafford being put up front, and then they bring in Garnacho on the left-hand side, and that little ferret spinning idiot, I don't know what to call him, Anthony, who's absolutely useless. I called him useless last year, and now the Manchester United fans are even turning on him. He is just pathetic. He is so easy to read. And if he comes up against Aurier, as long as Aurier keeps showing him to the outside and the little fidget spinner, all he wants to do is cut in. It's easy to control him. He's got nothing else. He's got no right foot. He's literally like Omar Richards, but he has this second leg, the right leg of his, that he doesn't use at all. He should donate it to Omar Richards. So I hope Anthony plays. If not, they've got Palestri, who could maybe come in, this young kid, another young kid that they're trying to big up, and he'll probably flop. There's talks that he's going, I think, he's linked to Sheffield United or something like that. So whether or not he will play instead of Anthony, I don't know. I think it will be Anthony. And then in defense, this seems to be their back four currently. Look, as much as I love to take the piss out of this team, I still rate Varane. Varane is a bit of a trooper, solid defender, really well organized, can marshal a backline, can play a higher backline, even though Manchester United tend to play slightly deeper, and is a solid defender. Where Forest can get at them is obviously with that butcher, as they call him, Martinez, the little dwarf. If Aurier can kind of match himself up against that, he could get some change out of the butcher. The butcher's a dirty little shit. He'll go and nibble at the legs of Aurier and try and get, away with some nasty tackles and things. And I think Aurier can completely outmuscle him and put him into the ground. And in terms of their fullbacks, Wan-Bissaka, he's always out of position, but tends to be able to recover with a miraculous slide tackle here and there. But going forward, he doesn't offer much in terms of crossing ability or anything like that. He just seems to be quite pacey down their right-hand side. And Luke Shaw, look, he always looks overweight. I don't think he started that well this season. They haven't really got any backup anyway there, so Shaw will definitely play. And they don't play with a goalkeeper. Instead, they play with Onana, who thinks he's a central midfield player. And Forest need to keep an eye on this because he will come out of the box. And we could potentially find ourselves, as Jude Bellingham did, being able to chip him. And then, of course, in their next game, where he got lobbed from nearly the halfway line, thanks to a Money Mount assist on that player. So Forest need to be wary of him and try and keep him on his line. He is going to try and push himself out and play the whole sweeper-keeper position, but I think he's been overhyped by Manchester United. He's okay as a goalkeeper, but I do feel he has a big mistake in him every now and again, and hopefully that will come this Saturday. But that's my predicted team for Manchester United. It'll be in a 4-2-3-1. It looks okay on paper, but at the moment, the fan base has just got a little bit of unrest going through them. Get your thoughts in on that team. Do you agree with that or not? And if you're a Manchester United plastic fan, have I got your team right? Let me know in the comments. So as I mentioned, there is a little bit of unrest going on with that plastic fan base. They're all, Glazers out. We've spent, $1.5 billion or whatever it is, but we hate our owners. And there's talks of protests as well at the game this Saturday. There's also all the stuff going on with Greenwood. They've got, a lot of them are starting. They're almost like in denial about Money Mount. They've tried to convince themselves, probably by watching YouTube clips, on just how good he is. And now they've seen him in reality. And you can start to feel that they're losing patience with him. However, luckily for them, he won't be playing. There's even been some unrest about Eric Ten Shag because he's the one who's been doing the recruitment. He seems to think it's still the 90s and that he should have a say. And all he seems to do is recruit players from the Dutch league because clearly he knows no better. They've also brought in Rasmus Højlund, the wonder kid, the next Haaland, who scored a huge amount of goals last season in Serie A, a massive total of 9, which meant he was good enough to come to the Premier League. On top of that, they did an Omar Richards with him because he passed the medical even though he has some issues in his back, and he does not even have the ability to play 2 games a week. There are so many parallels between Forest and Manchester United, joking aside right now. It worries me. It's one club I would not like to parallel us to, but they have a player who passes the medical that should have failed. They got so much deadwood in their team that they can't get rid of. Very similar to Forest as well. They've been very slow in the transfer market this year, same as Forest, and they've had players that they've wanted to get who want to go to them, and they end up not buying as well. And we all know, of course, the whole Dean Henderson saga and how they've stalled that around. So here we go. This is it. What do I think's going to happen on Saturday? I've got a sneaky feeling Forest are going to low block the crap out of Manchester United. And it's going to end up being a 0-0 absolute borefest because Manchester United right now are struggling to score goals. Let me remind you all as well that Forest are ahead of Manchester United in the league. Here's a little pop quiz for you guys. Can you tell me the last time these two teams met and Forest were ahead of Manchester United in the league? Let me know if you know the answer down in the comments below. So, is this a 6-pointer? Yeah, maybe I would love to see Forest finish ahead of Manchester United, but I still feel that Steve Cooper will pay them too much respect. But I do think we could get away with a 0-0. And if we really ride our luck, a little breakaway goal, an MGW through ball into a 1-7 in a row. Oh, God, I'll be in heaven. This one means the absolute world to me. But I'm going to sit on the fence on this. I'm going to go 0-0. And I do have a strong feeling about 0-0. I really do. And I think if we can keep them quiet for 20-25 minutes, that plastic crowd will start to turn. That plastic crowd will start to feel uneasy and unrested. And if we can get to halftime, maybe Seven Hag will hit that panic button. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm going with 0-0. What are you guys going with? Let me know in the comments down below. And here's a little wild card for you. Elanga comes on and scores the winning goal and shishes the Stretford end. I'll leave you guys with that image. If you like that image, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. We'll see you on the transfer update. Get your score predictions in down below. And come on, you Reds.